Hey everybody, and welcome to the Naruto Ultimate Ninja playthrough. What I'll be doing today is, here, let me show you. So this is going to be the next video I'm reviewing. So primarily this is going to be for some gameplay footage, and I've got to unlock all the characters because I feel like that way I'll be a bit more credible. So as you can see, I have pretty much everyone unlocked here except for these two big question marks, and I've already done my research and I know who these two characters are. It's the cursed version of Sasuke and the Ninetales version of Naruto. So I'm gonna unlock them before I post the review of the video, and I want to use them a little bit because I know they're pretty unique in all scheme of things to the game. So we're gonna unlock them, but first off I want to teach you guys the basics of this game before I get too deep into the training mode, which is the thing that too deep into the mission mode, which is the main thing we're gonna be doing. So for most of the stuff I'm gonna be doing for this series, I'm going to be playing mostly Orochimaru, and I'll explain that in just a second. So Orochimaru is the only character in this game that I would say has actual decent input lag. So if you're not well versed in fighting games, input lag is when you click your button and there's the time between your swing coming out. So like, there's a couple characters and their input lag's fine, but Orochimaru is the only one who feels like it's instantaneous. Because you see that I'm clicking 0, you can see the input coming down right at the bottom. I'm clicking 0, and it's just instantly happening. He has really good input lag, and the reason why that's important is because if you have to land a combo or something like that, then you know what, it's gonna work. Your timing won't be thrown off with bad input. And a lot of characters in this game also have stuff where they will land their combo, but their combo's so slow that it can easily be basically parried out of. So Orochimaru has a really fast combo. It's very hard to get out of the combo once it's been started. So Orochimaru is a super good character. So now let's talk about what's actually going on here. So as you can see, there's definitely inputs. X is jump, square is your throwing ability. So if you look at the bottom left there, I have a bunch of different options I can cycle through. So these are my normal, like shurikens and needles and kunai and stuff like that, and these can just be periodically thrown whenever. They're a good ranged option if someone's hiding in the corner. Then you can kind of stay back and just throw stuff at them, and it'll slowly chip away at their health. It's not a ton of damage, but it's useful, especially if you want to break someone out of a combo or something. So then again, we have jump. If you double jump, then you can dash either behind yourself or you can dash directly towards your enemy. This is a really good way to start combos like that. So there's that. And then, of course, everything comes out of circle. So if you read my inputs, I'm going to be mashing circle a lot. And that's because circle is your only attack. Circle's your only actual attack button besides the shuriken. So pretty much everything has to come out of circle. So every character has their basic combo of this. This is Orochimaru's. He has this 3-hit combo. And then Orochimaru has inputs too. So I can go... If I am clicking a movement option while this is happening, then I will do a few things. So let's just do an example. So I'm doing my combo, and I selected forward, so he ends with that little bash thing. If Sasuke wasn't up on the wall, then it would just be a big knockback. But since he's up against the wall, he gets knocked into the wall, which makes him lose chakra on top of that. Orochimaru also has his up version, which he slings you up, and you can combo into that, which I'll explain in a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, there's that. So there's your basic combo with a finisher and a direction, and then you have, sometimes characters have combos that end with a jutsu, or you have standalone jutsus. So Orochimaru is perfect because he has both of them. So I'll show you what a standalone jutsu looks like. So this is a standalone one. It has good range, it deals a lot of damage, it can be dangerous because you can't combo into it, so if you miss it, you are wide open for punishment. So that's why I don't typically use these, except for Shikamaru, who has a really good one. So that's a standalone one. A lot of the only good ones for those are ones that can, like, Hinata has one where she heals herself a bunch of HP. Sasuke's is a fire thing that can shoot from about here, so it has good distance to it. And if you touch the fire at all while it's up on the screen, it'll just deal the full damage. And then we have stuff that's like a combo finisher, so let's look at Orochimaru. So we'll do our standard 3-hit combo into the jutsu. So if I were to hold back instead of forward, I would use this attack instead. And that attack is basically all it's going to do is tack on some bonus damage. And it has a huge knockback as well, but for Orochimaru it's kind of redundant because it's just going to deal a little less damage, but his standard 4-hit combo, his standard 3-hit into the forward directional input is going to deal as much knockback, just a little less damage. So as you can see, this is mostly what Orochimaru has for offensive capabilities, and the reason why he's so good is just because he's, first off, incredibly fast, and second off, he has good range, good damage, and like I said earlier, no input lag. We have one more thing that we can do. So we have this, which is if you click triangle, this will charge up a secret technique. And every character has 3 versions of this. You have a red, you have a purple, and you have a blue. Each one will cost more of that chakra bar that you can see up in the top left and right. But the more you do, so like the higher the level is, the more damage it'll do. So like a level 1 will probably do about 10 to 15%, and I'll get into why it varies. And while level 2 will deal like 25 to 20% of someone's health, and then the level 3 could deal 35 to 30%. So here I'll show you what it looks like. So we'll do a level 1. So anytime you land one of these, you'll go into this mode where you have to click inputs on the left and right. If you successfully click your inputs while you're attacking, then you'll move on to the next phase of it, because there are multiple phases of these attacks. So that was like phase 1, here's phase 2, and as long as I keep doing these, they'll go into either phase 2 or phase 3 of the attack. I believe this one only has 2 phases, so it's going to end right there, but as you can see, I did about, I'd say 20% of the guy's health. So, everyone has 3 versions of that, and the more versions deep you get into, the harder the inputs become, but the more damage it'll deal. Now, if you fail your inputs on like the first or second stage, and it's a 3-stager, then it will just end the combo after that thing right there, and you'll come back to the game world like this. But if it's if you continue all of them and you get to your last phase, then you'll just deal bonus damage if you land all your inputs correctly. Now, if you're the opponent, you can't get out of this unless your opponent's, the person causing it screws up their combo and it ends the secret technique. But if you are the person getting hit with it, if you do those combos correctly, then you'll reduce the incoming damage, which is why that's when I said it'll deal like 25 to 30% health on a level 35 to 30% health on like a level 3 version of it. And that's because if you can successfully reduce the damage, then you won't be taking as much. Of course, you want your opponent to screw up, but that isn't always going to help. That isn't always going to happen. So that is all of the basically fighting stuff here. There is like one more thing, which is substitutions. So there's a block button in this game. There's pretty much only highs, and everyone has one low attack, which will open you up, but the low attacks deal very minimal damage, so it isn't really all that good to use. But what these block buttons do is what these block buttons do is that if you block right before someone's going to land an attack on you, you will use a substitution, and a substitution looks kind of like this. You'll place a log and you'll appear behind them, and this usually means you can open them up for an attack. Sometimes, you know, if the timing's correct, then they can actually substitute you. So it's a cool cat and mouse game where everyone has defensive options. If you're playing anyone besides Orochimaru, then you need to be very deliberate with your attacks, and it could become a very slow-paced back and forth substitution sort of thing. It's really cool. Now let me reveal the other part of the game. So this whole stage has environmental objects. You've probably seen me hitting these dummies, and those items will pop up. Well, there are items in the stage that can be attacked, and you can get bonuses from them. So like I got a speed up, and this will be like a temporary 15-second speed up or something like that. Every stage has different ones, so like on this stage you can attack her and she'll drop something, as long as she's not speed eating her ramen. You can break this board and it'll drop something, so I keep getting chakra items. But there's more than just chakra items. So like we go up here. Oh yeah, that's right. So there's a foreground and a background. So this is the foreground. This is where we've been the whole time. If you click up and X, you'll go into the background, and while you're in the background, if you click down and X, you'll go into the foreground. And you can swap between the two, you and your opponent. So like here, there's some more environmental items. So I just picked up an item that I'll talk about. Substitution jutsu, that's another one. It'll give me a temporary, if you see those logs around me, if I get attacked, then I'll automatically do a substitution. They last for a very short amount of time, but nonetheless, it's still there. I got invisible, and this basically just means shurikens can't hit me. But yeah, as you can see, you can go all around the environment. You can hit different things, get items to give you an advantage in battle. You'll have everyone has their own specific assist character, so in this case this guy's mine, and they'll pop in between the background and the foreground. They'll always go on the opposite side of which one you're on, so like you can see, since Sasuke's in the foreground, Kakashi's back there. They'll always appear on the opposite side, but whenever you see like he disappeared right there, then I can go to the other side and walk up to him and he'll drop me an item. So now I have an assist from him, this like little shield thing's an assist. So let me just show you off what I have. So we have the normal shurikens. This one is this little brick thing. I don't know what it's called exactly, but you throw it and it will speed down someone. So now their attacks are slower, their movement's slower, everything about them slower for about 10 seconds, I would say. So we have the special ninja tool, which is this one. Basically what this is it's a buffed up shuriken. So there it is. Deals a lot of damage. It can stun lock them, which means we can set up secret techniques while they're stun locked. It's a really good item to have. So for an example, that's what a normal shuriken looks like, and you'll have seen the special shuriken. And lastly, we have assist. So every character's assist is different. Orochimaru's is arguably one of the best in the game, because if you land this, then it's a guaranteed secret technique. So he'll put someone to sleep, and then we can land a special like that. I'm gonna purposely fail this because I don't. You'll be seeing these specials plenty when I'm doing the missions. So yeah, this is the general gist of what the game has to offer. There's like one or two things that you guys will get to see later. Oh, this is a good example. So, you know, I was talking about chakra earlier. This is something I can just teach you right now. You can knock chakra out of people if you knock them into the floor or into the wall. So, here, let me show you. Oh, well, I screwed that up. But here, let me show you. I'll knock him into the wall. So, as you can see, he got knocked into the wall, and all those yellow balls dropped out of him. And in a normal match, he'll have lost chakra, and if I pick them up, then I'll gain that chakra. So a lot of this game is managing that chakra so that you have an advantage over your opponent. And you can pull off jutsus and secret techniques, because those are the big damage dealers in the game. So yeah, that about sums up the basics of this game. We'll get into like some specific matchups or specific character details later on. With that having been said, thank you for watching the first episode. This was mostly us talking about the game and the basics of the game. In the next episode, we'll actually get into some missions. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.